More developments now. The Josh is very much high in the Indian camp as India celebrates the success of Operation Keller. 3 Pakistan-based terrorists have been successfully neutralized, including a dreaded Lashkar-e-Toiba operative. And as the news broke, there were chants of Bharat Mata Ki Jai that echoed across the nation, with brave Jawans leading the charge in this decisive victory.
The Pahalgam massacre took place in the 26 of the tourists were killed on point blank range after identifying them. Once they came. Bharat Mata Ki Jai! Bharat Mata Ki Jai! Har har! Bharat Mata Ki Jai! Bharat Mata Ki Jai! Har har! Bharat Mata Ki Jai! Bharat Mata Ki Jai! Har har! Bharat Mata Ki Jai! Bharat Mata Ki Jai! Har har!
Those are the visuals, in fact, shot just shortly after the operation had concluded. You see the bodies of the 3 neutralized terrorists lying there, and our Jawans, of course, shouting Bharat Mata Ki Jai soon after that Operation Keller had concluded. Let me go across to my colleague Pradeep Datta once again. Pradeep, this was a very important operation from a national security standpoint because one of the 3 neutralized terrorists belonging to the Lashkar-e-Toiba, Shahid Kutay, was also, of course, one of those alleged to have had an involvement with respect to what happened in Pahalgam. He's also been accused of murdering a BJP sarpanch as well. So that was a huge catch. That apart, there was one other terrorist called Adnan Shafi, who was also neutralized, and a third terrorist yet to be identified. Tell us about the significance of what our soldiers have achieved.
See, it's very important operation because why? Because this is the first success since Pahalgam massacre. Because for the last several days we have seen that multi-pronged operations were conducted in South Kashmir area, Pahalgam and other sites. They were looking for the terrorists, and finally yesterday morning they got information about these 3 terrorists. They were holed up in a hideout in Keller area in South Kashmir. Immediately after that operation was launched, while the area was being cordoned, that was the time when Shahid and his 2 people, his 2 associates, they opened fire. Yes. And when they opened fire in ensuing gun battle, Shahid, who was an operational commander of Lashkar chief, and Adnan Shafi, both of them were neutralized, and the third is believed to be a Pakistani terrorist. He was also killed. Yes. Large quantity of
I just need to interrupt you for a moment. Of course, this operation took place very close to the Keren sector, like you said. We have Lieutenant General Vishnu Chaturvedi now joining us. He's a defense expert. General Chaturvedi, 2 very important developments on a back-to-back basis. Now, you had, of course, the Operation Keller, in which 3 Pakistani terrorists were neutralized yesterday. One of them, Shahid Kutay, was somebody who's alleged to have been involved in the horrible tragedy that unfolded in Pahalgam. He's also accused of killing a BJP sarpanch. And today, of course, you had the very important development of our BSF Jawan being released from Pakistani custody and sent back to India. And we, in turn, released a Pakistani ranger who was held captive by us. What do you make of these 2 important developments, sir?
Firstly, about the terrorists getting neutralized in Keren sector, I can only say that these terrorists do not have any chance now with the clear-cut policy given by our Prime Minister. These people, their life will be now in months and maybe weeks. From the time that they are directed, they will not survive. This clear message must go to Pakistan, which is in fact a factory. They produce terrorists on their soil. They must learn to now administer their country in much more useful manner. Rather than creating these people, they will finish Pakistan one day. As far as the professionalism of Indian soldiers, the Indian Army is concerned, I have no doubt they will leave no stone unturned to ensure that these terrorists do not exist. As far as the release of the BSF Jawan by Pakistan, I think there I durust hai. These people had no business to keep this soldier of this Jawan of the BSF for almost 20-21 days. Normal protocol is it happens along the LC as well as along the IB. Number of times they, by not for any intended design, they cross over to each other territories. It is normally resolved at the local formation at quarter level. To keep this boy for 21-22 days, it is most unethical, unsoldierly, and Pakistan must learn to follow the ways of profession, ways of soldierly, and follow the protocols laid down all over the world. This is very heartening.
Yes, absolutely, General Chaturvedi. Thank you for your views on this. Let me also go across to my colleague Rishabh. Rishabh, we were of course talking about the significance of these two developments which have taken place now on consecutive days. We also have Sahil now joining us for more. I'll come back to Rishabh in just a short while. Let me go across to my colleague Sahil, who will take us through the details of a lot of the ammunition that have been recovered by our forces, especially in Shopian and elsewhere. And coincidentally, Sahil, this terrorist belonging to the Lashkar-e-Toiba, Shahid Kutay, hailed from Shopian, and immediately in the aftermath of the Pahalgam massacre, the Indian forces actually demolished the house belonging to Shahid Kutay in Shopian as well. Take us through the details of the ammo that we managed to recover, Sahil.
First of all, it was a big win for security forces, given the fact that after Pahalgam terror attack, there were massive coordinated search operations that were initiated across Kashmir Valley, particularly in South Kashmir. Yesterday, this operation was conducted by Indian Army and Jammu and Kashmir Police together, and 3 top Lashkar-Toiba terrorists were basically killed. A large quantity of arms and ammunition stands recovered from these 3 terrorists. My Vijay Veer Mehraj will show you these pictures. These are the jackets, biscuits, in fact eatables, 2 AK series rifles, in fact around 10 magazines. There is this cash identity card of Shahid Kutay, who was the operational commander of Lashkar-e-Toiba, operating in South Kashmir. He was from Chotipura, Shopian, was active from 2023 onwards, and these are the bullets that they have recovered from the encounter spot. Power bank, essentially, it signals and gives us understanding that the terrorists, while they in fact move in mountains, they use these power banks. Some of the other kind of recoveries, but they have not been put here due to security reasons or sensitivities, because some of the things will be part of the investigation. We are given to understand that ultra sets, that's highly encrypted the communications device, has been also been in fact recovered from the encounter spot, and that is one thing that was in fact used in Pahalgam terror attack as well. So as of now, this is the arms and ammunition, and quantity reflects that these terrorists were planning for something big after Pahalgam terror attack. So this is big win for the security forces. After Pahalgam terror attack, there were massive coordinated search operations, and those operations have been conducted, and in one such operation, 3 these Lashkar-e-Toiba terrorists have been gunned down. 2 AK-7 series rifles stand recovered, and grenades. Most importantly are these grenades, which we have seen often terrorists using against civilian populations. Shahid Kutay, who was the operational commander of Lashkar-e-Toiba, was also involved in attacking 2 German tourists in Shopian. He was also in fact involved in killing a Bharatiya Janata Party member and sarpanch in Shopian, and there are other terror incidents as well. So as of now, this is the quantity of arms and ammunition that has been recovered from 3 Lashkar-e-Toiba terrorists, in fact eliminated by security forces yesterday in Keller, Shopian. A big win for security forces. So, importantly, after Pahalgam terror attack, security forces are continuously conducting search operations in South Kashmir particularly, and they are in fact after some of the top Lashkar Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorists who are active and whose houses were demolished after Pahalgam terror attack. Adnan Shafi and Shahid Kutay, two terrorists in fact gunned down by the security force yesterday, are among those. They in fact were their houses were demolished, and security force very aggressively following and tracking these terrorists. You can also see in fact some notes here wherein these terrorists have in fact noted down the eatables they had purchased, and there are other sort of recoveries as well, but that cannot be in fact reflected on television because of the sensitivities involved, and that helps security forces to crack down the OGW network that basically helps these terrorists while they roam inside these forests.
That's a very detailed description that you've given us, Sahil, of the ammunition that was recovered from these three terrorists. We do know the identities of two of those three terrorists who were neutralized, Sahil. One of them, of course, like you mentioned, Shahid Kutay, the other Adnan Shafi. What do we know about the identity of the third? Has that been ascertained on the part of the security forces? And just one more other question. That's an enormous amount of ammunition that our forces have managed to recover from three individual terrorists. That's a big arms haul on the part of our security forces.
Well, first of all, the identities of two stand in fact admitted by the security forces. As I said, Shahid Kutay and the second one is Adnan Shafi. They were both affiliated with Lashkar-e-Taiba terror outfit. Third one is being identified, and there was a press conference that was scheduled for today. But due to operational commitments, the Indian Army and Jammu and Kashmir Police has cancelled that press conference, and we are expecting by the evening that press conference will be held and more details will come out. As I said, the large quantity of arms and ammunition recovered from all these three terrorists indicates the sort of preparations we can say these terrorists have, and it also reflects that they were planning for something big, but security forces...
Massive haul and a big success in Operation Keller for our security forces. Thank you very much, Sahil, for taking us in a great deal of detail of all the arms that the Indian forces have managed to recover from the encounter site. We'll turn our attention